Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to finish making our pizza. So I took the dough out of the refrigerator. It's been in there about 48 hours. Took it out of the refrigerator about 2 hours ago so it could warm up to room temperature and do a little bit of final rising. The recipe we made is enough dough for one 16-inch pizza or two 12-inch pizzas. So since I'm just making this for myself, I'm only going to use half the dough. I'm going to put the rest back in the refrigerator to age some more and make that later this week. So I'm going to take the dough out of here. Now you'll notice that the dough is pretty sticky. It's a pretty wet dough. That's good. That's what's going to give us a nice texture in the oven. You can see this is definitely very sticky. So first I'm going to basically just divide it into two equal halves. These dough balls look about the same size. And then I'll put this one back here, put it back in the refrigerator. Now this dough is kind of sticky because it's so wet, so it's going to be difficult to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat the outside of the dough with a little bit of flour to make it easier to handle. I'm not going to try to knead the flour into the dough to make the whole thing drier. I just want the outside that I'm going to be touching to be a little bit easier to work with. And then we'll leave the extra dough down here on this cookie sheet, or the extra flour down here on this cookie sheet. So now we need to shape the dough, and there's a variety of ways to shape it. I'm just going to try to create a nice even thickness round piece of dough. Now while you're shaping your dough, you should be preheating your pizza stone in the oven. You want the pizza stone to be nice and warm, because that's the whole point of the pizza stone. I'm preheating the oven right now to about 500 degrees. It's pretty hot. That's going to give us a nice crisp texture for the pizza. Alright, my pizza's not very round, but it is pretty even thickness. So I have here a non-stick cookie sheet, and I'm going to coat it both with the flour that's already there, as well as a bunch of cornmeal. The cornmeal adds a nice texture to the bottom of the dough, but it's also going to act as a lubricant so that we can slide the pizza off of the cookie sheet and onto the pizza stone, because the pizza stone's in the oven and is very hot, so we don't want to take it out and touch it, and we don't want it to cool down. So we're going to just make the pizza on here and then just slide it right on in there. So I'm going to be making a cheeseless pizza, or at least a dairy-free pizza. I have here soy cream cheese, and then I have my pizza sauce. I'm going to take a few scoops of this soy cream cheese, and I'm going to put it in a bowl. So I got about that much. And then I'm going to mix in some of the pizza sauce here. Now I'm going to use the fork, and I'm going to mash up the cream cheese and try to get these two into a nice smooth texture. Alright, so that's mixed up pretty well. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, as an optional step, I'm going to spread a little bit of olive oil on the top of the pizza, which should help it crisp a little bit in the oven. This step is optional. If you don't want to put the olive oil on there, you don't have to. It'll still be tasty. All right, next I'm going to put my tomato sauce mixture on here. I'm going to spread this out to cover most of the top. I'm going to leave a little bit of a rim there that'll poof up nicely in the oven. Give us that little rim around the edge that you're used to on a pizza. Next, I'm going to add some fresh seasoning. I got oregano and basil. These are both staples of pizza. On the pizza, I have the tomato sauce, and I have the basil, and now I'm doing the oregano. These are all fresh, but if you don't have fresh, you can use dried stuff as well. But the fresh stuff is really good. And then finally, I'm going to top it with sliced black olives, as well as some sausage. The sausage is pre-cooked. I cooked on the stove a few minutes ago. It's fully cooked because this pizza is not going to be in the oven very long, so it's not going to have time to cook the sausage. So we need to do that all ahead of time. Don't need any raw pork on our pizza. Now, even though we have coated the pan here with the cornmeal to act as a lubricant, this dough is pretty wet. Now it's got a lot of weight on it. It's been sitting there for a while, so it's probably stuck to the bottom here a little. So I'm just going to use a spatula to make sure that this isn't stuck on there too much, because we do need to be able to slide it into the oven, and we won't be able to do that quickly so that all the heat doesn't escape from the oven. And we also don't want the pizza to do something funny and get torn in half and all the toppings to fall off. So, all right, so now this pizza is ready to go in. The oven is preheated to 500 degrees. The pizza stone's been in there about a half hour, so it's nice and warm. We want the pizza stone basically to also be at 500 degrees, and it takes a while for it to warm up all the way through. So now I'm going to very carefully use my mittens. I'm going to try to slide this pizza onto the pizza stone without anything too bad happening. Alright, so the pizza's in. Now, this is a pretty thin crust. There's not a whole lot of toppings on there, and the toppings are pre-cooked. So the pizza doesn't have to be in there very long. It's at 500 degrees. Probably about 5 minutes will do it. I basically do it on look. Once the crust looks like it's starting to get done well, and if you have cheese on there, once the cheese looks good, then you basically just take it out. But 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes is about all you need. Well, as you can see, my pizza's done. It's got a nice soft crust here and a crisp bottom. So it's a really nice combination. So I'm just going to crack open a beer, go enjoy my pizza, and I hope you enjoy yours as well.